Here are the best Cypher setups for Pearl, Volume 2. For this initial A site setup, you need to move fast because it's quite time consuming. Jump up onto this hut, place a camera for the balcony like so, smoke right here, trip right here, and then wedge yourself into the corner between the buy barrier, which is about here, and the edge of this wall. For this one way, line up the corner of this wall right here with the middle HUD line between your cage and your camera. There's a lot of room for error for this, but make sure you try it out in customs. And then look at the side of this light. As soon as the buy phase barrier drops, you can place this tripwire for A main. Play in backside, hop on your camera. As soon as they're about to execute onto the A site, hop off of the camera, activate your cage, swing out, and kill anybody who has triggered your tripwire. At this point, you have a couple of options. If your team still has full control of mid, then you can simply back off into CT, hop onto this box, activate this cage, and swing out like so. This will punish anybody who's holding CT like this, or anybody who has hit this tripwire trying to push into CT. If your team has lost mid control, then what you can do is you can activate this cage immediately and kill whoever is trying to push onto site like so, or whoever has triggered this tripwire. There are two different setups for mid. I'll first be showing you the one leaning towards the A site. Put a tripwire right here. And put a second tripwire right here. Prop yourself up against the edge of this wall and the edge of the buy barrier. For this one-way cage, look at the middle of this box right here. Put your HUD line between your camera and your alt right in between the middle of that box, and throw your one-way. Again, make sure you go to customs to practice this lineup. Now, you can throw that cage right after the buy barrier drops, and right after you throw that cage, put a camera right behind that box. Hop onto your camera, and as soon as you see people pushing into mid-art, activate your one-way, swing out, and get a pick, as the enemy here cannot see you. If there's a lot of pressure coming your way and there's a lot of enemies trying to push you, you can then fall back from that position, put a smoke right here, and activate your smoke as soon as they hit your tripwire, and then you can get a second pick, like so. For the setup leaning towards the B site, make your way into A art, drop a tripwire like so, come back, and then drop a second tripwire like so. Then simply prop yourself up against the side of this wall and the edge of the buy barrier, which is around here. For this one-way cage lineup, you want to put your line in between the tripwire as well as your cage along the top of this person's head like so. So it should look like this. There's a lot of room for error for this one, but just make sure you try this out in customs. Throw after the buy phase has ended, and the cage should land right about there. Right after you throw those cages, come up a little bit more and put a camera right up here. Back off and play from this location. Hop onto your camera, and as soon as you see people walking through mid doors, activate this one-way cage, and you have a great one-way effect for anybody who's trying to push through and they can't see you at all. Furthermore, with this camera, there's no way that the person can see this camera until they have pushed through mid doors, at which point you'll be able to see them, and at which point you'll be able to activate your one-way cage. After you get this initial pick, if there's a lot of people pushing through, you can throw a second cage down right here, and as soon as they trigger this tripwire, activate the cage, swing out, and get a pick as well. Now, for this particular setup, you can actually play from a couple of different locations. You can play from here, you can play from here, and you can even play from here. The position of your second cage may vary depending on which of these locations you play. So, if you're playing here, your second cage should be around this location, so you can swing out to play off of this tripwire. If you're playing from this wooden box, or if you're playing from this position, then your cage should be around this location, so you can swing out and play off of that tripwire. I suggest for those particular setups to hop into a custom to try it out because they do require some practice to get it perfect. But hope you guys enjoyed, and those were the best Cypher setups for Pearl Volume 2.